Welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. I'm your host, Phil Taylor Jones, and thank you for joining us for another episode. As usual, we're more than happy to have you come along with us. Today's focus is going to be about Mr. Donald J. Trump. Regarding the refugee influx that's going on in some European countries, he was asked whether or not, or what he thought of them coming here. And his response was he didn't care much for the concept, but it was a humanitarian thing and that something has to be done about it. I guess 65,000 of them coming stateside and even more than that. Okay, as you've been watching various episodes of the show, you know that I have been a very big supporter of Mr. Trump. And to a greater extent, I guess maybe I still am. I do believe in some of the things that he talks about, and he, seems to speak his mind and all that kind of thing. He's not politically correct, and all those things I admire. But here's where he kind of shot himself in the foot with me. Weeks ago, he got up on stage and he was saying that we need to get the 11 million illegal foreigners out of the United States because they weren't good for the country. Because Mexico, through whatever machinations, is very good at sending us its garbage, in essence. Rapists, murderers, child molesters, wife beaters, you name it, they send it. It comes through Mexico, whether it's actual Mexicans or whether it's some other ethnicity that's coming through Mexico to get into this country illegally. And he's been chomping at the bit. He's been beating on the tom-toms about how he's going to go about getting them out if he becomes president. They're not good for the country. In essence, we don't know what we're letting in. Okay, Mr. Trump, why do you think Russia is not letting in these refugees? Why do you think countries like Qatar and other places, Emirates and all of those places, aren't letting them in? Saudi Arabia. Why do you think, Mr. Trump, that China is not letting them in? Because they are a problem. They're coming with a lot of baggage. Again, Mr. Trump, how do you know that ISIS or Al-Qaeda isn't mixed up in that bunch in some form or fashion? And I have read articles on the internet that are spot on about that. Not that I'm a big believer or lover of the internet, because it's a bunch of crap too, but just, if you use your mind, just common judgment would dictate that, a lot of these people might be right along in with the shuffle. It's the same thing that you were preaching about when you spoke about what's coming up through Mexico towards America. Now you're talking about people with religious ideologies that are ludicrous on a normal level. The Muslims and their, way of worship is ludicrous on just a normal level. But then you add in the extremist equation, and that makes it really just out the yard, off the chain, off the hook, whichever one you wish to use. And you would say that you would harbor a thought of them bringing 65,000 or more into this country with the ones that are already here. And then thinking about President O'Bastard, talking about he wants to make this a Muslim country by 2016. Don't we already have enough of them over here? And how is that going to make America great? That's 65,000 of them that don't have a penny. All they've got is the shirts on their backs and possibly a bomb up their dress, and that's coming to America. Again, Mr. Trump, how does that make America great? Let them stay where they are. As I mentioned in a previous show, they seem to have balls of steel when it comes to getting into a host country, then they can be aggressive, then they can be nasty, they can be creeps. That to me is not a refugee, that's an opportunist. If you're gonna be aggressive and creepy, do it to the people that are doing it to you. Go over there with Assad, their president, and kick him in the butt and throw feces at him and be aggressive and boisterous to him and beat him down until you get your country back. Find yourself some gas and gas his ass and get your country back. That's what I call real countrymen. You don't let people run you out of your own home. If it's one place that you never back down, that's in your home. So yeah, I'm totally against Mr. Trump on this score. I'm totally against Mr. Trump on the mere fact, just with our own problem with foreigners. He's somebody who wants to kick the 11 million out, but then let them back in through the big door in the wall that's going to be built so they can attain citizenship the right way. No, we don't need that. As I have alluded to many other times, we've got more than enough foreigners in this country. More than enough. Build a wall without a door and keep them out and shut the borders. Close the borders. Close them. Because if you let this problem keep going and keep festering, it's never going to go away. It's an infestation. And any exterminator can tell you that when you've got a huge infestation, it's harder and harder to get it under control. Unless you stop the infestors right in their tracks. So what you want to do is you want to lay a firm border down. Borders are there for a reason. You want to protect those borders so no more of them can come in while you try to eradicate those that are already in. But no, you're way off the mark on this one. Humanitarian, my butt. You don't know who you're letting in your country. Look at what's going on over in Germany and these places where these idiots, politicians, leaders, have let them in. Now they're overrunning them. Angela Merkel, she's about ready to pull her hair out. She's looking a little more dog-faced than usual. Frank Holland is looking a little more stupider than he looks usually because he knows that he's opened a Pandora box. She knows it. And this Great Britain guy, or whoever else wants to take them in, are opening up a Pandora's box. One, because you don't know who you're letting in your country. Two, they're not appreciative. Three, they're opportunists. And they will do anything to make sure that they get the opportunity that they came into your country seeking. So no, we don't need them over here. We don't need 65,000 of them over here. We don't need 6,500 of them over here. We don't need six of them over here. There's already enough of everything that's in the world over here. So it's their problem. It's a Syrian problem. Let Syria handle it. Totally against Trump on this one. Hope you change your thinking, pal, because that's not making America great. That's making America more destroyed. We don't have the Twin Towers anymore because of these people and the crazy way they think. And we're coming up on yet another year where we shall never forget what happened on that fateful day of September the 11th, 2001. Same people took down the Twin Towers, took down a part of the Pentagon, crashed a plane in Pennsylvania. Same ones who were still having to search people at the airport and alter our lives and for all this craziness. And you want to accept 65,000 of them into this country? No. Definitely not making America great. Think about it. We'll see you next time on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Thanks for joining us.